I don't know if you guys know Etsy, but we are an online marketplace for buying and selling handmade and vintage goods directly from the people who bring them about. So we started here in this neighborhood of Brooklyn. It's called Fort Greene. This was in 2005. That's our apartment right there. And actually at the time, we were all, creative professionals. Rob, who was the founder of Etsy, he and I had a screen printing business together, and he was a furniture maker, a photographer, a painter. We were all doing these creative pursuits and really making no money at any of them. And so Rob was making these handmade wooden computers at the time. So these are actually inside-out wooden computers, and he even soldered all the bits together inside. And he wanted to sell them somewhere, and so he's like, oh, yeah, I'll go to eBay, but realized that eBay really has no vibe, especially for creative people. It's like, it's great if you're Best Buy and you're unloading a bunch of unsold electronics, but if you actually really care about what you're selling and you care about how it's being represented online, it doesn't really suit you. So he was going to build his own website to do that, but when he looked around, he's like, hey, whoa, all of us are making stuff and all of us need an outlet to sell these things. So he decided to make a marketplace for everybody, and that was Etsy. So it was very much started from a place not as like, this would be a really good business idea and here's our business plan. It was like, Rob, who was at his 5th college at that point, I was in a band and screen printing T-shirts. The other 2 guys were like hackers, literally hackers who, just were like, Rob convinced them to do this thing with him. I remember actually, Haim, who was one of the founders, was in school at the time, and Rob would write papers for him so he would keep working on the website. So it was a very unconventional business story. And we're definitely, I think, now proud that we're more artists than business people. But weirdly enough, we've created a big business. So now we have about 15 million registered members, 42 million people coming to the site each month and viewing 1.4 billion pages on the site. Last year, we sold $525 million worth of stuff on Etsy. And this year, we think we can get close to double that. Now, what's really exciting about that actually is that 96.5% of that money is going back to people. It's not going to us, obviously. And this is really where we started to realize that we have the chance to do something transformative in the world. We're starting to operate at a scale that's like, hey, we're kind of like one of the big guys now. And it was really important to us that, we always make it about people. That's what Etsy really is at its core. It's about people. And so last year we put on a conference in Berlin. I was living there, getting Etsy going in Europe. And it really marked the moment where we started to shift how we were thinking about the business. So we started out like, hey, let's make a website for artists to sell the stuff that they make. But when we started to actually see that, like, well, we're really actually beginning to do something transformative with all these little micro businesses, we shifted away from just thinking of ourselves as a website, an e-commerce site, and really more about how do we become a platform for small businesses to run their businesses anywhere, on Etsy, off Etsy, in brick and mortar stores, all of these things. So there's been a real shift in how we're thinking about the company. So we actually rewrote our mission, vision, and values. I think the key part here is, without even thinking about this language in the common way, we're talking about the new economy too. And to us, the new economy, at least the role that business plays in it, is about having a lot of small things rather than just a few big things. It's about, how do we empower all of these small people to help build this economy? And we think this new economy is not just going to be measured in financial sense, but actually in how happy people are and how connected they are and how much a sense of self-sufficiency do they have.